there, Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life Series 12. Today is day 24. It's June 24th. And our sketch was designed by Jen Miller. If I can find her social media, I will link that below my video in that description box, as well as the playlist that is good for the entire month of June. There are well over 300 videos on that playlist, so if you need some time to watch some creativity that's super inspiring, you should jump on that playlist and hit play, because there's lots of goodies on there. So I will be using this Bella Boulevard collection called Bug Explorer. This is my niece and a grasshopper that she is holding, and I am going to use these papers, an ephemera. Might use one of these little flags as part of my title, and I think I'll bring in a set of black thickers as well. I am going to pull in this card for my journaling. I only have 2 photos, so one of those photos on that sketch is going to be this journaling card. And so I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to make some cuts. I'm going to cut a circle with my cameo, and then I'm going to layer up some of these papers, and we're going to get started. Be right back. The first thing I did was I cut a 4-inch square out of the bug paper, and then I cut that 4-inch square in half. I did use my trimmer to do that. I didn't try to cut it by hand because I am not great at cutting straight lines by hand. You'll very rarely see me cut anything like that by hand. So I cut down the other remaining pattern papers into, I think it's a 1.5 inches for the stripe, and the polka dot is 2 inches. You're going to note that the polka dot piece isn't actually long enough to reach both sides on the diagonal, and so I have to use some of the little pieces that I cut off to finagle it to be finished, and it works. You can't really see unless you're really looking for it. I think that if I had to do this sketch over again, I would cut my square to 3 inches, and my other strips of paper would have been like 1 and 1.5 inch, and then my circle would have been much smaller as well, because you'll see in a minute that I don't have enough space between the 2 ends of the circle to get it to where it shows on there, and I'm kind of annoyed by that. I think you might be able to hear it in my voice in the part that I didn't use as a voice, so I didn't do a voiceover of. So anyway, so that's kind of what I'm doing there. Now I'm going to cut 2 more strips, because I originally thought that I would only have to cut 1 strip from each pattern paper, but that's not how it worked. So my circle was almost 9 inches in diameter, And again, I would have cut this smaller if I had realized that I had made a mistake with my strips. So you're going to see me trim the circle down at least once, if not twice, to try to get that space between the two ends of the circle. I'm not going to have a space in between them, unfortunately, and it's going to overlap. But I do like how this layout turned out. And again, if I had to do it over, I would make those strips a lot smaller, and probably my circle would have been more like 6 or 7 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and lay out these pieces of these photos and try to decide where I want them to land on this layout. Originally, I thought that I would have the 2 photos side by side and the journaling card at the top, but I didn't like how the photos looked side by side because I didn't want to cover up my niece's beautiful face, and I also didn't want to cover up the bug at all, so that I could layer them like they are on the sketch. You're also going to notice that in the ephemera, I end up just using some of the ephemera for titling instead of the black thickers that I said I was going to bring in at the beginning of the video. I just use these pieces of ephemera as my title, and it ends up working really well. So this isn't a collection that I would typically purchase these days, but I bought it because I have 3 boys and I have fully scrapbooked only one of those boys. So I have a lot of little boy photos to scrapbook, and so I bought these with that in mind. So hopefully I can use that up here soon. All right, so I'm finished. If I had to do it over again, I would make these 2 strips a little bit smaller, because as you saw when I was putting the background together, I was struggling a little bit to get the circles in there. This was 2 inches and this was 1.5 inches, and I would probably cut them in half. So, and the square that I cut was 4 by 4. So anyway, this is my completed layout. I want to thank you for stopping by my channel today. I really appreciate when you take the time to comment, like, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber. If you have any questions about this layout, just drop them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. You have a great rest of your day. Bye.